Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology, here in the greater Atlanta area, about to welcome two amazing, great guests right here on today's show, and I'll tell you who they are momentarily. First, if you could please go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and share this with all of your friends and family out there. I'd greatly appreciate it. Now let's tell you who's coming on today's show. One of them is in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the other is in Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. So we'll start with geographically the closer person to me. That's Kristy Wegert of My Workout Buddy. She'll be here, and we haven't talked to her in a couple months, so it'll be so great to catch up with her and see how everything's going on in her world. And we also have another lady I haven't gotten a chance to catch up with in the last couple months, so this will be a treat. Her name is Jakki Woywitka. She is your heart healthy coach, and she's going to be right here on today's show. So like I said, we've got a double pleasure, double treat, the two best ladies that come onto this show ever right here momentarily, Kristy and Jakki. How cool is that? And again, you know me, I'm Dr. T, telling you that with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Back in a second. Welcome back, everyone, and as I promised, we do have both of these young, beautiful ladies on with us, as I promised you, and they are here, and they're both 3 hours behind where I'm at, because starting from left to right, I'll start on the left side of the screen and in alphabetical order. We have in Las Vegas, Nevada, Kristy Wegert once again joining us, and then to your right, you see from British Columbia, Vancouver, we have Jakki Woywitka, and thank you, ladies, again. I really appreciate it. So at your time right now, for both of you ladies, you're both, what is it, a little after 12 p.m. as we record this?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Very good. Well, again, I wanted to have you both on. I'm so excited and thrilled, and this is going to be a very fun video edition here. And again, it's kind of a way of catching up with you both, because it's been a couple months since I talked to you both separately. And it's wonderful because there's one common thing that you both share, and that's just the amazing transformation of improving your health and fitness levels. And they're a little different because I wanted to get the perspective of each of you differently. Kristy from that of a personal trainer, and Jakki that of a health coach, because you know what you both do is just amazing. And I love it when the actual trainer or coach is able to tell a personal testimonial and share it with their clients, as you both do. So, as we record this, I guess, Kristy, we'll start with you, because, again, I know this is Jakki's first time meeting you. Can you kind of go in and just tell us a little bit about yourself and, tell Jakki and everyone else out there what exactly happened with your body transformation and how you got there, please?
Sure. I have been in a larger body most of my life. At my largest, I was around 250, maybe 260. At some point, I didn't want to know anymore, so I stopped weighing myself. And it was in my early 30s that the doctor told me that I had high triglycerides and high cholesterol. For somebody in my early 30s, they were going to put me on Lipitor and do all these things, and luckily I didn't have high blood pressure, too. That really did light a fire under me, more than, don't you want to wear a bikini, don't you want to wear Guess jeans, all these things did not motivate me like being put on a medicine that had so many wacky side effects. That scared me into better health. And so 100 pounds later, and a few years after I had maintained for a while, I changed careers when I turned 40 and decided to help people get stronger and feel more comfortable in their own skin.
Excellent. Very good. And Jakki, same question to you. As I just asked, tell please Kristy and the others out there a little bit about what you and I spoke about when you and I first met, please, and how you got to that point.
Okay. So about 3 years ago, when I was 36, I became very ill. I put on 80 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was told that I was psycho and crazy and to just go home and lose weight and I'd feel better.
Wow.
After a very long battle with the medical system, and thank goodness to friends overseas who helped me fight via video cam in emergency rooms, it was discovered that I had a congenital heart defect that rendered my heart to 15% effective. And I turned out to be allergic to pharmaceuticals. And so I had crazy side effects. So I started my journey on figuring out how to reverse the damage that the defective part of my heart had done to the rest of it. And so within 3 months, not minutes, I completely reversed the damage. And so then I became an integrative heart health coach to help others who aren't being served by their current physicians and medical team look for other ways to help themselves so that they can live their best lives.
That's amazing. Yeah, again, both of you, just two incredible stories from two incredible people. And both of you kind of touched on this with, your introduction there a little bit. Back to you, Kristy, with, you both mentioned about kind of finding an alternative way to get a solution rather than rely on drugs and medicine and such. So, Kristy, I want to throw the ball to you for a minute. And we've talked about this before, but, kind of maybe going into a little bit about, where our country, the United States, where we're in. And of course, we tend to kind of over-medicate sometimes and rush to the doctor and run to the experts at the hospital because they know it all and we don't, of course, right? So what's your take on that, Kristy, when all else fails and we just get frustrated because we can't get the answers we want from the medical profession?
Yeah, that better living through chemistry, I think, is kind of a false god. Unfortunately, a lot of people fall for it because they think doctor knows best. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I swear, I do believe that the stuff that we learned in health class is the ticket. As long as you catch it early enough, you can do a lot of good for yourself with other modalities like eating more plants, moving your body more, whether that's yoga, walking, strength training, whatever the body needs. But there are just so many ways to do these things before you get caught in that downward spiral of this pill is going to fix this problem, but it causes these 5 other problems, so I need 5 more pills. And it's just this, you're just flushing yourself down the toilet. So yeah, I do believe that if you can get it early enough and you really want to try to change lifestyle behaviors, it is possible to do it that way, as we both are showing. Yeah,
you're both living proofs of that. Jakki, kind of piggybacking on what Kristy was just mentioning there, what would you say were some of the frustrating moments for you, or kind of the obstacles and kind of brick walls that you had to kind of break through and overcome from the medical profession when they were telling you that you were, crazy or psycho or what have you?
Oh, well, as somebody who's worked in health and wellness my whole life, you don't put on 80 pounds in 2 weeks without something being seriously wrong. Like, if it was a year, my bad. But, not in 2 weeks. And I feel it's kind of a catch-22. I think if you're a female, you get dismissed a lot in the medical system. It doesn't matter really where you are. They just don't really, they honestly here in Canada, because we're universal healthcare, they just don't have the time. They don't have the energy a lot of the time to do it. And so it's just quick fix, Band-Aid, as much as they can. And then the other thing, it has to do with age. Like, oh, you're young, so yeah, you just have poor eating habits and you don't exercise. But they don't bother to ask. Not as, that was one of the most amazing things for me is they go, you're fat, eat healthy, and lose weight. But they didn't bother to ask me what I was already doing. They didn't know that I was vegan, plant-based. They didn't know that I was an athlete and I had just come back from an expedition mountaineering in Antarctica. They did not ask the fundamental questions, in my opinion. And I feel that especially those of us who are younger, and again, those of us who are female, when the questions of what are you already doing, right? And then the other thing with me is I do have a genetic condition, which 50% of us do have congenital heart defects. I have never had an echocardiogram or anything in my life until I was 36.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was an athlete. And in our healthcare system here, if there's no symptoms, you don't get tested. But even knowing that, they didn't even think to consider maybe we should. There was no thought till I got a doctor friend in Ireland to fight for me. So I think, and even though I'm talking about my medical system, because that's what I know from having talked with my clients, with other people, that it happens in pretty much every medical system. It doesn't matter where you are in the Western world.
Yeah, Kristy, would you concur? I mean, I think that sounds familiar, doesn't it, with us down here in the U.S.?
I was just having this conversation last night with a brand new client, just started with me yesterday. And she had a head cold a couple weeks ago, and it was in her chest and her head. She went to the doctor, and she's in a larger body. They actually said, you need to lose weight when she was coming in with a cold.
Wow.
I mean, what? They're not even related. She's like, yes, I understand that. Don't think I don't know about my body. This is different. Let's table that for a second. You have to be your own advocate everywhere you go. Yeah, and we're just little ninny heads of ladies here.
Apparently. Woo! Crazy.
We can't know our bodies at all, right?
No. Who would think that?
Oh, that's sad. Well, it's really disheartening to hear that that's the same kind of common theme, both here in America, but also up there in Canada as well, too. And, Kristy, on the flip side, let me ask you this question. When you meet your new clients, like the lady from last night, or any time you sign up a new client, to you, what's important in terms of kind of finding out that information? Like, how do you delve into meeting a new person? Because let's face it, they're very sensitive information when you're talking about someone's age and weight. So how do you, maybe take us through, Kristy, like a new client comes in and, what does that look like when you're able to kind of interview them and try to get to know them?
So my saying is that health is not a number, it's a mindset. I don't use metrics. I don't measure. I don't weigh. My intake involves talking about past injuries, medical conditions, what medication someone is taking, what exercise do you like, what exercise do you hate. And we do a postural assessment, and we also do a movement assessment and some clearing tests. But never do I weigh anybody, and I don't come after anybody with those fat calipers or tape measures. That's old school, and it is so shaming, it's unbelievable. What I want to hear about is, what is your blood pressure a year after we've been working together?
Right.
That's the numbers that matter to me. I want to hear about cholesterol lowering, the A1C getting better, trending in the right direction. Your weight doesn't mean diddly to me at all.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
People love it because we stepped away from the idea that I'm a weight loss program. Instead, I am strengthening your body. I'm helping you improve upon what is already amazing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Both you and Jakki kind of reminded me of when you were telling me about that story with the medical doctor. Do you either of you remember? This is an American stand-up comedian, but Rodney Dangerfield. I don't know, Jakki, if you've heard that name. Well, he was I'm sure you have, Kristy, but one of his favorite. It was just hysterical. He would do these self-deprecating jokes where he'd kind of make fun of himself and make himself the center of attention in a negative way. But one of the things I remember about him was so funny as a personal trainer, and you both will appreciate this, but it's when Rodney Dangerfield said that he went to see his doctor, and the doctor said that he was fat. And he asked his doctor, he said, what? He said, I want a second opinion. And he said, well, you're ugly too. And so that kind of reminded me of what that was when you were talking about that. But I like that Kristy approach where you're not, like you said, the word body shaming, and in no way when someone comes in are we going to identify things that they didn't come to us for. That would be like the equivalent of us, they come to us, say, I need to lose weight. And we kind of look at them and say, yeah, you also need to do this too. And it's just not right. I think that that's kind of disrespectful from a medical standpoint. But, back to you, Jakki, too, when you are coaching your clients and when you meet them, what is your approach in terms of kind of evaluating and assessing what they need to see you for and how you can help them?
For me, it starts off with a 40-minute intake session,
okay.
And I go through their complete medical history. I go through a quick synopsis of their life story, which we get into more later, but I just want a quick overview. We do things like parental health histories. We do kid health histories. Like, is there something from your kids that maybe can be linked there? We go through any medicine, supplements, pharmaceuticals. I get them to keep a food and exercise diary for a week to find out exactly what they are currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get them to bring their lab reports with them online, or give what they've already had done, and we go through those numbers together, because it is amazing the amount of people who come to me and they just give me stuff, and I say, okay, well, what are your actual diagnoses? So I want to know everything you've been diagnosed with. And they'll rattle off, and I'll say, well, do you know what that means? No. Can you tell me? Doctors aren't explaining the diagnosis that they're handing out, is what I'm finding with a lot of people. So I spend a good time just explaining what the doctor has been telling is wrong with them. And then I put their numbers through my heart rate calculators, so that they have a point to start off for exercising. Because often heart patients, the only thing they're told to do is either just walk or whatever you feel comfortable doing. But this is the thing. When you've had a heart attack, you don't trust your body anymore. Like, for many people, and many people are terrified. It is not uncommon to go into support groups and to find somebody freaking out and going, I just came home from the hospital. Can I go to the toilet? And you're going, please, get out of bed, go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, get yourself a cup of water.
Yeah.
Don't just lay in bed. Even if it's just moving around the house, please.
Right. Yeah.
Please do so. And they're terrified of that. So by giving them exact parameters of theirs, because in the exercise part of my program that I do, there's kind of 5 stages of cardiac rehabilitation. And so by being able to give them their specific numbers that they can watch on their Fitbits, right, they feel comfortable going to that a bit more. Saying, like, this is what happened, this is the stage you are of recovery, so you can go up to this heart rate to exercise. Okay. All right, I can do that. So giving them that so that they feel a bit more comfortable moving around. And then I ask them, what are your goals? What do you want? Because I'm very clear, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. So I do not tell clients, I'm going to heal your heart disease. No. My goal is to help you live a better quality of life. Okay, so, but you know what? What I consider high quality of life is not the same as what you would, Taryn, or what you would, Kristy. Right? So I want to know, what do you want? Sometimes I want to be able to go to the park and play with my grandkids in the park and not just have to sit on the bench because I can't breathe. Okay. then let's get there.
Right.
Right? So so just trying to find out what their goals are and what are we going to use as a measurable outcome to see where we're going. And so that's the first session with me, kind of my intake.
No, that's great. And I like at the end there you mentioned about goal setting. So, kind of going back to you, Kristy, and just tailgating off that. What do the benchmarks and goal setting look like in your program? Because you did mention that too when you mentioned a few minutes ago, Kristy. You were talking about what are we going to be at a year from now with blood pressure and such. But how do you design that with your clients and their programs when you're designing the personal training kind of help and program that they need?
Specific, measurable, attainable,
realistic,
and time-bound.
And time, but yeah, they were all on the tip of your tongue. They sound pretty smart.
Yeah,
smart goals.
I asked for like 2 or 3, and we work through them together on a piece of paper. We really make it real and concrete by writing it down.
Mm-hmm.
And every single person is different. Like, people will come to me and give me all of these, things that they're not accountable in any way. I want to have six-pack abs, and I'm like, okay, so let's try to figure out what that looks like on a piece of paper. And, you have to kind of talk people out of that cloud sometimes because that isn't possible for a lot of body shape. Even if the person comes to you lean, they may have a short enough torso that that's never going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And they wind up with an eating disorder because they've been trying to get too lean and they don't feed the muscle on their abdomen. Sometimes it's just not physically possible. And then there's other people who they just want to stop taking certain medications. Or I have a guy who suffers from Parkinson's, and he just wants to get out of the chair again without using his hands. Everybody is different, and it's amazing how many different types of people you run across in this business. And the goals could be really simple. I want to sleep better at night. And you just process through the SMART, matrix and figure out how to make that happen for them in a set amount of time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, Jakki, back to you also, this is great. A lot of what you're saying really aligns with what Kristy's saying. It sounds like almost you both use similar business models when working with your clients. Here's a question for you, Jakki, and we see it a lot. I'm sure the three of us do. But if you have someone come up to you and say, Jakki, I eat terrible. I'm going to continue eating bad. I drink a lot of alcohol. I do whatever, bad habits. And that's okay because I just need to get ready for a wedding that I'm going to be in, 2 months from now, 6 months. And I just got to do whatever I can to look my best for this wedding, okay? So how do you handle someone like that who's kind of telling you whatever time frame that kind of goes against those SMART goals or those lifestyle choices that both of you ladies have touched into? Is that challenging to you as far as taking on a new client if they gave you that and that told you, I just am getting ready for a wedding or getting ready to go to the beach or whatever? How do you handle that?
Well, honestly, to me, that isn't a client that I'm able to work with. And so I would honestly say, I appreciate where you're going. Keep following me on Instagram and Facebook, getting all your heart healthy tips. But I'm here to help people improve their quality of life from chronic illness. Right. But I do know of a couple of people that you might want to check out who might be able to help you there. And that's kind of how I do it. There's a book by Dr. Lissa Rankin called Mind Over Medicine, and it has the 6 stages of healing yourself from chronic illness. And I actually have it up on my wall. And so when I'm talking with people or chatting over social media with people, I look through that and I keep in mind what stage are they in, because I can't help them till they're at stage 3 at least of that process. Right? They have stage 3 is support. Like they know what they're doing isn't giving them the results they want. The first step is recognition. Number 2 is looking for answers. Okay, so going like, okay, I know it's not working for me. Now I need to start looking for alternatives. And then number 3 is now I need help to getting to where I want to go. Right? So if they're not at that support stage 3, if they're in the first 2, they're not ready for me yet.
Yeah, that's great. That's so good because they have to have that personal autonomy or that ownership, so to speak, of doing it themselves, and that's all behavior modification, isn't it?
It is totally. Well, let's be honest. I do it virtually most of the time, so I'm not there, in their house. Making their meals, getting them to the gym, throwing away cigarettes.
Exactly. Yeah.
For them, right? So if the client's not at the stage where they're ready for me, it's a waste of their money and it's a waste of both of our times.
Very, very true. Ladies, this flew by way too fast. I am watching the clock, and I understand we have to wrap up by 12:30. I promised you both you'd get out of here in time. We need to do this again very, very soon because this 30 minutes went by way too quickly. But if you have a couple minutes real quick before we go, and Jakki, let's go with you. Let's plug your contact information, website, social media, anything you want to go ahead and provide for us right now. And by the way, when we finish, it'd be good if you two ladies connect with each other as well. I think you both could have a synergistic working relationship here because you probably see some of the same clients. But Jakki, please take it away. How can people reach you?
Alrighty, so if you want to reach me, my website is healthyheartcoachjakki, spelt my way, .org. And you can also find me on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at healthyheartcoachjakki.
Perfect. And same question to you, Kristy, before we wrap out of here. How do they find out about My Workout Buddy?
So my website is my-workoutbuddy.com. It's best to text me if you want to get a hold of me quickly, 404-641-7173. If you leave a voicemail, it will take a little bit longer for me to get to you, but I will get to you. And email is kwmyworkoutbuddy@gmail.com.
Wonderful. And we'll have all of that on the screen here when we fade to black momentarily. One last question to you both, because I'm kind of curious. My geography sucks, I'll admit that. I have no idea in geographic location between where you are, Kristy, and Las Vegas near British Columbia, where Jakki, but I'm assuming you must be, I guess, kind of north and not too far either way, left or right, because you're in the same time zone. But have either of y'all been to each other's locations, just out of curiosity? You have, Jakki?
I have.
Okay.
I've been to Vegas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
It's about a 2-hour flight for me.
Oh, that's not that far at all. Wow. Oh, so you are.
Are you near Vancouver? Are you in Vancouver?
I'm on Vancouver Island.
I remember now.
So I'm on just north of Victoria. Yeah.
Wow, how cool. Well, this is great. I'm so happy to introduce you both together because, again, you're both masters of what you do, and you need to definitely connect with each other because, again, you both have so much knowledge, and I really appreciate you both of your time for being out here, and, again, thank you so much. And last thing I'll say is happy Thanksgiving to you both. Have a wonderful holiday season, and let's please do this again. Let's do another one of these panel discussions with each other because this was so much fun with you both.
Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it.
Likewise, my
Thank
pleasure.
You,
Thank you. And I'll check in with both of you next month as we get closer to Christmas, too. And let's do another one of these plays.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you. And again, here come your ladies' contact information as we fade to black.